What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Young and Intelligent Money Investing channel. Today, I want to go over how to invest your first $1,000 into the market. But before we do that, I would just want to thank you guys as I usually do. I've been loving all the comments I get. I didn't remember I respond to all of them. If you got any suggestions, criticism, whatever, I'll take it. Just put it in the comment section below, and I'm happy to read it. All right, let's get into this. So, for the first $1,000 in the market, you guys see I have about $4,400 in here. But when I first put my $1,000 in, I was buying all sorts of individual stocks. I didn't really know what to do. And honestly, I think I took the absolute worst strategy. If you guys look at my growth, I really didn't start getting that big of returns until a couple months into my investment career, I guess, if you want to call it that. Into basically my like journey here, if we want to call it an investment journey. So essentially, what I think is when you only have a slight amount of money in, the main thing you want to do is to be learning, but also to be making smart investments. So what I mean by that is you can learn a lot from trading stocks. I'd say I probably learned more in this period than like in this couple of month period than I did in a lot of the time following. Other than how to be successful, it's more of what I've more of learned what not to do, and I guess that has to come before you learn what to do. So I started out buying individual stocks that really didn't perform that well. Dabble a little bit in penny stocks. That's a waste of time for me, at least, because I don't really understand it. And if you're not an expert on something, I don't know why you want to put a lot of money behind it, especially in a high risk investment. So what I would suggest doing is putting the vast majority of your original investment, your $1,000, into an S&P 500 stock or ETF. That's going to be VOO for me. So like that's my primary suggestion. It's about $246 right now. So get 2 or 3 shares of that in your first thousand. I'd pick up a couple of shares of SPHD for those monthly dividends. Those are really satisfying to see, and it kind of gives you an idea of what a different type of what a different type of ETF is, other than just an S&P 500 ETF. Even though this is S&P 500, it's high dividend, so it's not exactly what the S&P 500 is, and it won't perform just like it. And also, and then the rest of that money, you probably are going to have about probably 400, 200 left, depending on how many shares of VOO you got. The rest of that, I want you to put into like big stocks that you really believe in for the long term. Whether that maybe you're a big Tesla fan, maybe you really think that I don't know, maybe a stock like AbbVie is going to have a good future. It's the pharmaceutical stock. Then you should get behind that and kind of just watch that very closely. Watch a small number of individual stocks very closely and kind of follow along exactly what the news comes out with them. And then I do a little bit of trading with that. Essentially, what this portfolio diversity is like kind of like a modified version of what Jim Cramer suggests. His suggestion is to have your vast majority in the S&P 500 and then have your mad money fund is what he calls it, which is a very small portion that you learn, you trade with, and you try and put that money into stocks that are going to generate you a higher return than the S&P 500 or that you speculate will. He stipulates that you need to have $10,000 in the market beforehand, that in the S&P 500, for the simple reason that that's the only way to be fully diversified. If you only have $1,000 in the market, you're not going to be diversified enough just picking individual stocks, which is why I highly suggest having a few shares of VOO, a couple shares of SPHD, or any other ETF that you really like when you're just starting out, and then having a small portion in individual stocks. You guys see I have a lot of individual stocks here. I'm going to be cutting down on that. I really just like it for dividends and more a learning experience for me. I really don't focus on my returns from these stocks nearly as much as I do from SPHD, SPY, and VOO. DIA and QQQ a little bit less just because I don't have as much money in them. But really, that's really where I focus. And then these ones, I watch for patterns. I like getting the dividends from them. But honestly, if I was being smart, I would sell all of these and put them into my ETFs. But I think a very important part of investing is learning. So when you are older, or if you have more, like obviously people are going to have more money in the future. Like you should be saving, you should be getting more money, accumulating wealth. So when you're just starting out your investing journey, you want to be learning. So that way you can make smart decisions when you have lots of money and a higher and higher risk. You would rather lose that $1,000. You don't obviously you don't want to than $50,000 a couple years down the line when you've been working full time and you have a nest egg saved up. That's not when you want to take a risk with that. When you're younger, you can recover from taking your risk, which is why I recommend having a small portion of that, and then most of that just going the S&P 500, generating those good returns that it does on average, and really just experiencing those great gains over a long time. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, just suggesting how to get started in investing. If you guys have any suggestions for future videos, leave them down below. Well, once again, I love reading you guys' comments. Leave me a like if you haven't subscribed yet. Please do. The channel's been growing like crazy, which has been so fun for me to see, and I really appreciate all you guys. All right, thanks so much.